everyone, and welcome to our second edition of the 2025 season, the Catawba Football Coaches Show. I'm Ken Anderson, your host. I'm joined as always by Coach Tyler Haines. And first, a couple quick shout-outs and thank yous. First of all, thanks to the folks here at City Tavern for hosting us, taking care of you tonight. Jeff, Leslie, Lindley, Sam, Sarah, and Riley. Tina's behind the bar. Heather, the manager in charge. Also, thanks to Novant Health. They're a proud sponsor to support Catawba Athletics. Novant Health offers same-day and walk-in appointments for injuries at select orthopedic clinics. Learn more at novanthealth.org/ortho now. And thanks to our Catawba IT folks, Pavel, Luke, and the Catawba IT crew for taking care of sound and lighting here tonight. And, Coach, I know you have plenty of shout-outs and thank yous as well, so have at it.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you to President Nelson and family for being here. Thank you to Vice President for Athletics, Michelle Cadigan, for being here in the entire athletic department. Thank you to the Dees family and the entire development department. Thank you to the Graham family and the 1851 Collective and everyone associated with that important initiative for our student athletes. Thank you to Novant Health, which was already said. Thank you to City Tavern, which was already said. Thank you to my family who's not here yet. They're hustling from a volleyball game, hopefully a big win, but thank you to my family. And most importantly, thank you to everyone that's sitting here today supporting us and on YouTube listening loud and proud.
So last week, the season got underway with a big win at home over Ferrum in the opener, 45-13. 293 yards rushing, 202 passing for 495 total yards. And, Coach, you told us last week the offensive line was going to be one of the best units you put out on the field. They certainly lived up to the billing last week.
Yeah, we did exactly what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to go out there and dominate a little bit of a younger team, and we did that. I was happy with how it started fast. You know, we put that first drive together. We hand the ball off a couple times, and you just see the surge from our perspective. You see the surge of that offensive line doing what we expect them to do. So first couple drives, it was hand it off, touchdown. And it's what you love to see early in a game like that.
Yeah, you mentioned those two drives, 68 and 76 yards, resulting in touchdown runs by Bennett, Galloway, to get off to that good start. And then second quarter, Preston Brown did his thing, 3 touchdown passes. The first one was to Kevin Lalin. He snuck out of the backfield. They lost track of him. And then 2 big plays to Bo Pryor. So he had it going all the way around on offense.
Yeah, it's good to see those two guys having fun again, playing together. I know they were on the show last week, and to see them having fun, executing at a high level like we all remember, and I'd even venture to say they're better than ever. They executed. You know, Preston didn't throw an incompletion. The 2 times Bo touched the ball were touchdowns. So we're excited to see those guys, and we're going to need them every week throughout this entire thing. So it was fun to see.
Now, your team had a nice lead at halftime, 35-6. Emory Henry came out to start the third quarter. They took that second half kickoff. I think I said Emory Henry. It was Ferrum. Excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. Ferrum took that second half kickoff. They drove it right down the field and got a touchdown to get back to 35-13. But very impressively, your team ran out the rest of the third quarter clock, kicked a field goal to start the fourth quarter, 15 plays, 63 yards. You had to like the way your team came back and just kind of put a big statement there in that ball game.
Good and bad with that. You know, I would have liked to see us come out in the second half and get an immediate 3 and out and put a touchdown on them. So it's never exactly the way you want it. A couple things that we need to work on that were not great were special teams. You know, we didn't punt, so punt team was an issue. We made a field goal, but our kickoff and kickoff return teams did not execute at a high level, and our defense had some short fields because our kickoff didn't cover well. So would have liked to see us get a 3 and out to start the second half, but yeah, we responded well to when they did score.
Got to like that about coaches, right? They always find something that they need to work on. But then fourth quarter came, you threw some other running backs out there, Queese Williams, D. Mitchell, and Jay Moore. Mitchell had a big 35-yard touchdown run, so quite a lot of depth there at running back.
Yeah. We like to talk, I know, in the athletic department and the college as a whole of culture. And I love the culture of this team. I love next man up mentality. There's not a big drop-off. When we put someone else in the game, the expectation and the standard is always extremely high. It never changes. And to see some of those younger guys that maybe didn't expect to play or get the opportunity to play a whole lot, went out there and represented us well, and it was exciting to see those guys.
Coach, so a lot of talk there about offense, but how about defense? They did a great job. Evan Simons, the SAC Defensive Player of the Week after his performance. He had 9 tackles, 4 of those for loss, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and that all happened on his birthday. Yeah. So quite a day for Evan Simons in the defense, and also Nigel Gay he just seemed to be everywhere back there in the secondary.
Yeah, I think it was Evan's 24th birthday, if I'm not mistaken. So it was good to have a good 24th birthday, and he was on this show last week as well. He played really well. I think our defensive staff does a great job finding ways to get him to attack quarterbacks and running backs, and that's why he was in the backfield. He actually, if he was sitting here, he'd say he missed a couple and probably could have been the National Player of the Week if he would have had a couple more of those plays. But proud of him. It was a good first one for him and that defense. We gave up a couple chunk plays that Coach Overman and the staff didn't like seeing. But again, played a solid game on that side as well.
Coach, I'm glad you mentioned that all those guys that were on the show last week. Preston Bryan completed all 11 passes, 3 touchdown passes. Bo Pryor touches it twice, 2 touchdowns. And Evan Simons, Defensive Player of the Week. So it might be a good sign if you're on the show that you're going to have a good performance in the week coming up.
Yeah, make sure you tell those 2 guys they're going to speak next.
Yeah, no pressure on those 2 guys. So let's get to them now. We'll get you back up here at the end of the show to talk about this week's opponent, Emory Henry. But let's get that running back duo up here. Kevin Lalin. Kevin's wearing number 10. And Bennett Galloway wearing number 0. And we'll get those 2 guys up here. And you've heard them referred to as Thunder and Lightning already. That might be one of the nicknames we go with. Bennett here will be Thunder. Kevin will be Lightning. So no pressure on you guys, but quite an act to follow. Since you're on the show, you're going to have to come through with a big performance this week against Emory Henry. So, Kevin, let's start with you. You're from Spring Lake, North Carolina. You played at Overhills High School. You went from high school, you went to Limestone to start your college career.
Yes, sir.
What was the reasoning? What was your decision in going to Limestone?
Well, out of high school, I had 3 offers, Virginia State University, Limestone, and Barton. I chose I chose Limestone because of the coaching, and they were contacting me every day. So it felt like the right choice.
Now, you mentioned the coaching. They had some NFL guys on that coaching staff. I think Jericho Cotchery ended up taking over as head coach. And tell us about your running backs coach and what you were able to learn from him.
My running back coach name was Jordan Todman. He knew ball, and he was a funny guy. So it was very fun to play with him and learn from him.
So then spring comes around and you find out that Limestone is going to close the university. How did that come about? And then what did that trigger for you to be able to continue your college football career?
Well, 2 weeks before finals, we received an urgent email telling us to come to the gym. And the president was there. We had a big meeting saying that the school is going to close down. They're $30 million in debt. And they had to get $6 million by the next week to keep the school open. So it unfortunately shut down. We had a team meeting, and all athletics had to hit transfer portal.
So then when you hit the transfer portal, what went into your decision? What were the factors in you ending up at Catawba College?
Well, when I went to my visit on Catawba, it felt like home. You know, coaches knew they really wanted me, and I felt like they really wanted me. So I came there, and I felt like it's the right choice.
And Bennett, kind of similar for you. You played your high school ball at Chapin, South Carolina. From there, you went to UL Monroe to start your career. What factored into your decision to go to UL Monroe?
Yes, sir. Coach Bowden had contacted me late in my recruit, my senior year, and I went on a visit, and I fell in love with it from there. I liked the coach, the O-line, seemed like a good fit.
So then, consequently, what leads to a decision then to transfer from UL Monroe, and how do you end up at Catawba?
The coach that recruited me had gotten fired, and I love the staff that came in. A lot of respect for them, but the scheme didn't quite fit my play style that well, so I hit the portal.
So let's talk about the play style now. This week against Ferrum, you had 15 carries for 62 yards. You kept those first 2 drives with touchdown runs from 2 yards and 12 yards. You also caught 3 passes out of the backfield for 21 yards, so showing a little versatility there. Is that versatility helped you gain playing time?
Yes, sir. I got to give all my credit to the O-line. I mean, it couldn't have been done without them, the big guys up front.
And don't forget this guy over here. He got the ball downfield a good bit of the ways on those drives as well. And then, Kevin, you caught a touchdown pass in the second quarter from Preston Bryan. They kind of lost track of you defensively as Preston was scrambling around, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Now, is that designed? What do they teach you to do when Preston starts a scramble? What are you thinking and what are you looking at?
Well, I was just running my route, you know, and Preston made the guy miss and just threw it to me. I was wide open.
Okay, and then Bennett, after he got you down there on those touchdown drives, what's the determination? You know you're going to get the football. You know they're stacked up to stop the run. What's in your mind at that point to, I have to get yards, I have to get this ball into the end zone? What's your thought process going through there before the play comes?
Just put my head down and drive, find the hole and drive my feet and trust in the O-line.
So looking ahead to Emory Henry this week, what can we look for from you and the offensive line again this week?
Well, we've had a very efficient week of practice, and we've got a good game plan coming up, and we're ready.
And Kevin, you had a great year last year at Limestone, 1,209 yards rushing. So I think you're going to be a great fit for this team. You have a chance to be a difference maker for this Catawba team. Is there any pressure on you in that running back role?
No pressure. I just try to go out there and have the most fun I can, to be honest.
And what was fall camp like at Catawba as compared to at Limestone?
It was really structured the same. I felt like Catawba was a little more intense. They knew we had to have a good season, so I think, just the Catawba was more intense.
And Bennett, any difference between a Division I school, UL Monroe, and Catawba as far as training and preseason workouts?
Fall camp, we were blessed with good weather, but, some teams practice differently, and it's all football. It's all really the same. Couldn't really tell a huge difference.
So as the season goes on, let me ask you this. Do you guys feel comfortable sharing the load at running back, or is there kind of a competition there that one of you would rather be the main guy all the time, but certainly having two good running backs, it has its advantages?
I was definitely asked it. It takes the load off each other's body, and it's just a 1-2 punch. It's not really a starter. We both had 15 carries last game, so I don't think there's really a starter.
And we have a deep running back room, and we have a lot of competition, and we always push ourselves and help each other out, giving tips to each other, and it improves our game.
Okay, so like you heard, the guys that were up here last week went out and had great performances, and you certainly each had great performances. So now the pressure's on. You guys got to do it again against Emory Henry. Think you'll be able to handle that?
Of course. It'll be a fun game.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so let's hear it for the new running back tandem of Kevin Lalin and Bennett Galloway. We'll look for big things out of them this week. And now let's transition. We'll transition from football, and we're going to highlight another Catawba sport as we do each and every week here on the Catawba Coaches Show. And this week we're going to highlight cross country. We're going to be joined by Catawba head coach Jason Bryan. Jason Bryan is in his 12th season as the cross-country coach at Catawba. He's a two-time South Atlantic Conference Coach of the Year. Let's do that other one. I think it's working a little better. Let's do that other headset. The men's team last year made their second NCAA championship appearance in the last 4 years. The women's team made their third straight NCAA championship appearance, and they finished in the top 25 last season. So let's hear it for Coach Jason Bryan. And, Coach, what are your expectations for your team this season?
Yeah, thank you, Ken.
What are those expectations for this year?
Yeah, thank you, Ken. So expectations for this year are the same as every year. We want to make it back to the NCAA championships in Wisconsin this year in November. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I mean the expectations are to continue to move up in the rankings every year. The South Atlantic Conference is a very good conference. The region and the Southeast is a very good region. So we have great competition that I think has made us better over the years. And the expectation, as always, is to get both the men's and women's teams to the national championship meet in November.
You have quite a deep team. Both the men's and women's team are very deep. I think you have two runners on the watch list for conference honors already this year. And tell us about the depth and who some of those key runners are for your team.
Yeah, I mean, we actually I have 16 guys this year, and 10 of them are new, so they were quite loud just now. But it's a good group. We're excited about them. They're very excited about the season. And on the women's side, we have 11 girls, one of our biggest teams we've ever had. And I feel good about all 11. I mean, there's a lot of depth there. And the same thing on the men's team. I think there's a lot of depth there, and that's what you got to have in cross country because not everybody's going to have a good day on the same day, but when you have that depth, people can step up. So I'm excited about that.
Now, we heard Coach Haines make a reference to it. We hear it a lot talking to all the coaches at Catawba. We hear a term called Catawba culture, and we hear that all throughout the athletic department. What does that mean to you and your cross-country teams?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you actually bring up Coach Haines because I was going to bring that up. Catawba culture is, to us, it's everybody stepping up and supporting everybody. You're there for the other teams, no matter, it's beach volleyball, swimming, tennis, football, soccer, lacrosse. Everybody's cheering everybody on. And actually, just a quick story, Coach Haines today saw me loading up my truck for the cross-country meet this weekend, and he was sitting there talking to me, and he started helping me carry everything. So he helped me carry the stuff out to the truck, and that, I don't know if he knows that, but that meant a whole lot to me. Him as a person, this place as a culture is special.
And then when you're out on the recruiting trail, when you have to recruit new runners to come to Catawba, how much does Catawba culture factor into the type of person that you're looking to bring in?
Yeah, I mean, that's where we start. We start with good people. You have to start with people that love our sport, but also that are going to be good people and good teammates, and just in general good citizens out there. But overall, I mean, when we get people to campus, that's the biggest thing for us is we got to get them on campus because they can feel it when they get on campus. They can feel it in how people welcome them. They can feel it in how people want to help them. And it's something that the place is special, and it's not like this. And we tell our athletes this all the time. It's not like this everywhere. I think they get a little bit spoiled with, they get it all the time, and they get that support and they get that love all the time. But it's not like that everywhere. And I think we've had some people transfer in from other schools, and they agree that this place is special.
So your teams have been progressing each year, doing a little bit better each of the last 3 and 4 seasons. So what does the future of the cross-country program, and also you're a track and field coach, so what does the future look like for both cross-country and track and field at Catawba?
Yeah, I mean, we're excited. I mean, I think the great thing about our program specifically is that as the school has grown and new opportunities have come up for the school over the past few years, our program has grown with it. So we're kind of in the same trajectory, same excitement that the school as a whole is, expanding and adding new buildings and new opportunities and things like that. And I think our program is growing along with it. We're only 7 years old. We're in the 8th season of track and field. So to have the full program, it's only been 8 years now. And we're excited about this fall. And I think a lot of our track athletes are going to come out and support our cross-country athletes on Saturday at our home meet. So come out to that this Saturday at the Salisbury Community Park, 8:30 start for the men, 9:20 for the women. The women are nationally ranked as well heading into the season. But a lot of excitement for that, but also track season. We're excited about what we can do in the conference as a track program this year, and we've got a lot of depth this year in a lot of different areas. So the future's bright, and I think with the school getting bigger and growing, and adding new programs and new buildings and excitement like that, the sky's the limit.
All right, so let's talk to some of your runners here. Let's talk to a couple of local products from Locust, North Carolina, both from West Stanley High School. We have Natalie Almond, and we have James Shue, and I'm not sure how this headset's working, so I'm going to have you two just share one headset. So we'll talk to James first, and then you can use his headset because I'm not sure exactly how they're working on the radio side. But one thing we heard about Catawba culture, and just an example of that Catawba culture, we have a couple people sitting out here in the audience. We have Gordon Brown from Concord High School, played back in the 80s, and he's joined by his coach when he was at Catawba, Steve Shaughnessy. And Gordon now lives out in Kansas City. He's back here visiting grandchildren. He met up with his coach here. That's all part of Catawba culture, catching up with folks that were big influences in your life. So welcome to those guys on tonight's show. And now, James, you're fairly local from West Stanley down in Locust, North Carolina. You had a pretty good high school career. You won a 3,200-meter indoor state championship in your high school career. So what factored into your decision to come to Catawba? I understand that you had a coach in high school that was a Catawba alum and may have had some influence there.
Yeah, my high school coach went to Catawba and kind of connected me with Catawba, and I liked the team a lot. Coach Bryan was a very good coach. He recruited me early into my senior year. And, yeah, it was a good school. I thought it was a great fit. So, yeah, decided to come here.
So now, track. A lot of people know track and field. Some not quite as familiar with cross country. Tell us about your cross country training. How does that differ? Does it differ any from training for a track meet? And how much do you run per week, maybe?
So, yeah, it differs quite a lot. Right now, I'm in a pretty big training block, doing 100 miles a week right now. So it's pretty intense. We do 2 workouts a day on Tuesday. So we're training pretty hard right now. So.
Wow, 100 miles a week. I get tired driving 100 miles a week.
Yeah.
I can't imagine running 100 miles a week. So as you look forward to this season, what are you most excited about for this upcoming season?
For me, I'd say I'm most excited about the freshman class that came in. We got 10 new guys, and I think they're gonna help us a lot this year, and we're gonna need every one of them. And I'm excited to watch them all grow throughout the season.
Now, in your time so far at Catawba College, what's one of the most important things that you have learned, whether it's as an athlete or just academically or whatever? What's one big important thing you've learned in your time at Catawba?
I would say just to be present in the moment, enjoy the process instead of looking 6-7 weeks ahead. Just enjoy every day, enjoy every week, be present. So one thing I've learned.
Okay, and I like to ask folks when they're on the show, what are you majoring in and what are your future plans?
So I graduated with my undergrad degree in business administration last year, and I'm in the master program this year. And so for future plans, just something in business, preferably something in finance. So the finances, yeah.
Okay, so let's switch it over. Give your headset to Natalie since we know that one's working well. Thanks for joining us on the show. And here's Natalie Almond. She's quite an accomplished runner as well. She was second team all-conference last season. During her high school career in 2022, she was a state 1,600-meter champion, and she's a 4-time Rocky River Conference Runner of the Year, 2 times All-State for track, once for cross-country. So congratulations on all those accomplishments.
Thank you.
And how has that translated as you've come to Catawba? Is it more difficult than you expected, or been a piece of cake?
Yes, so it's a lot different playing field for sure. But I think with coming to college, I've kind of leveled up my training as well. So I've been able to compete at this level pretty good also in the conference and everything. So I'm hoping to continue that in the future.
Now, Coach mentioned you have quite a deep team. Are some of the training sessions and runs amongst your teammates, are they just as hard as running in a meet? Is that what helps you improve as an athlete, the quality of your teammates?
Yeah, so our team is looking really good this year. We returned all of our top 5 runners from last year. So we're looking really strong, and everyone definitely pushes each other, which I think contributes a lot to our success. We're always pushing each other to be better, and we all want to be the best. So obviously not everyone can be, but we're all aiming for that. So I think that's helped us a lot with our success.
So what are you maybe most excited about for this season?
I'm honestly just excited to compete. I feel like our team's so good this year. We're all coming in with this energy and this motivation that we just want to go out there and get it. And I feel like we can. I feel like we got a good setup. And, yeah, I think the main goal is we're going to come back with a conference title. So that's what we're going to try to do.
And let's talk about your training a little bit. How much do you run per week?
So my training's a little bit different than most people's. I've had a lot of injuries in the past, stress fractures. So I had to cut back on my mileage a little bit and cut back on the days of week that I run. So I do a lot of cross training. I'm on the elliptical and the bike and the pool a lot. But I run 5 days a week, about 50 miles per week still. So I'm getting back up to my mileage. But, yeah, one good thing about Coach Bryan is he's going to help individualize the training. So if you're going through injuries, if you're going through whatever, he's going to help you stay training no matter what so you can get back out there and be your best.
All right, great. So what's one of the important things you've learned in your time at Catawba?
I feel like I've learned a lot here, but most importantly, I just feel like you can't control, obviously, situations you're put in. You'll go through rough patches and hard situations, but it's how you react to those situations and the energy you bring into those situations that makes all the difference. And I feel like that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned here is just keeping a positive attitude throughout everything.
Okay, and what are you majoring in, and what are your future plans?
I'm majoring in environmental science and sustainability with a minor in GIS and chemistry. So hopefully in the future I'm working in GIS. something of that sort.
Okay, well, best of luck to both of you through this upcoming season and in your future endeavors. So thanks for joining us tonight on the Catawba Coaches Show. Let's hear it for James Shue and Natalie Almond. Now it's time to get Coach Haines back up here. We're going to talk about our upcoming game this week against Emory and Henry. Road trip up to southwestern Virginia. And Emory and Henry, they had a big game last week, kind of similar to Catawba's win over Ferrum. Emory and Henry defeated Glenville State 45-17. They put up 296 yards rushing in the ball game. Their running back, Jordan Jackson, was the South Atlantic Conference Offensive Player of the Week. He rushed for 226 yards, including a 67-yard touchdown. Their quarterback, Charles Mutter, 2 touchdowns passing and 2 touchdowns running. So that offense might create a challenge for your defense this week, Coach.
Yeah, very good football team, very well coached, going to their place, 1 p.m. kickoff, their home opener. It's going to be a battle. We know that. We've seen the film. Glenville State is not a slouch of an opponent either. That's a 500 team at least, and they went up there to West Virginia and beat them up pretty good. So really good running back, really good offensive line, and as you mentioned, the quarterback. So our hands are full on the defensive side for sure.
And you mentioned a well-coached team. Their coach, Quentin Hunter's just in his second season. He had an outstanding year last year. They went 9-2 overall, 6-2 in conference play. So he's got some things going on up there, similar to like you have at Catawba. So something's got to give this week.
Yeah. Yep, it's going to be them. It's going to be them. We didn't play them last year. They had a great year, 9-2, 6-2. So we didn't get a chance to see a lot of film on them because we didn't have to, because we didn't need to. And the same thing happened to them too. They're breaking down all this film from obviously week 1, but also into last year. So it's an interesting game because we haven't played each other in so long. Last time we did play them, we had them at our place and we played well and won that game. It's 2 good football teams that I know are definitely on the rise in SAC. So we're looking forward to the opportunity.
Now, you mentioned that last meeting at Shuford Stadium. Your team was down at halftime in that ball game 10-3, but you came out big in the second half, a 27-3 edge in that second half. You had 422 yards in that ball game, held them to 226. Do you think that your depth on both sides of the ball may be a factor similar to what it was in the meeting a couple years ago?
I think it's going to come down to execution. I mean, it usually does. When you have 2 evenly matched teams, 2 well-coached teams, hungry. Again, we're both 1-0. We have huge aspirations and huge standards. I don't want to speak too much for them, but I know we're going to get their best, and we want their best, and they're going to get ours as well. So we don't put too much emphasis on 2 years ago. We just know we played well, did enough to win, and we're going to have to do the same this time.
So I need to ask you a question. You had such success running the ball. We've talked in previous years. The determining factor is at the line of scrimmage. You're counting how many guys are in the box and determining whether it's going to be a run or a pass. When your offensive line was performing like it was Saturday, does it matter how many guys they had in there? You were determined, or you knew you had an advantage that you could just run the ball like that?
Yeah. Our offense over the years, and Coach Sofchek and the offensive staff do a great job, and even years past at other places, we've developed an offense that makes sense. And it's not just calling plays. It has a rhyme or reason to what we're doing. So as many times as we're running the football, if you're paying attention, what you'll see is on the outside, our receivers running routes. The receivers think it's pass play. And up front, it's a run play, and the quarterback gets to choose. So that's why it's such important that the quarterback owns the offense, takes control of it, makes good decisions, because we're trusting him on every play. I can't tell you when the ball's snapped if it's going to be a run or pass on most plays. The quarterback makes that decision based on what the defense gives him. So last week we were able to run the ball every play if we wanted to, so we didn't have to throw it. We'll have to vary things up in this game.
And then a key last week, you converted 7 of 9 times on third down. I think maybe one of the keys, you only had 9 third down opportunities and converted 7. You also converted once on fourth down. Just have confidence in your players and your offensive line to be able to make that play when you need to, don't you?
Yeah. It's all about our players. It's about our staff, our players, our whole program. When it comes down to actual play calls and actual situations, we believe in efficiency. To me, what efficiency, I mentioned this before, I don't want to bore you with it, but when you're calling a football play, you're trying to score a touchdown, obviously. But what you're really trying to do is you're trying to be efficient. On first down, it's 4 or more. On second down, it's half. On third down, it's get it. On fourth down, it's get it. If you have that logic on every single play call, the team knows what the expectation is to win that down. You win that down, you end up winning the game and scoring a lot of points. So if it's 3rd and 3, we're probably going to get it. If it's 3rd and 1, we're probably going to get it. If it's 3rd and 10, that means we lost first and second down. So it seems simple, but it's really not when you're calling those plays. Every single play is a win or a loss.
All right, Coach. So unfortunately, we're out of time again this week on the Coaches Show. So let's get everybody fired up. Let's take it out like usual. Get them ready.
Yep. Going out to Virginia. Go get number 2. Cat U on 3. 1, 2, 3. Love you. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. You can tune in to the action on Memories Radio. Kickoff on Saturday at 1 p.m. We're on the air with the pregame at 12:30. Look forward to bringing the ball game to you on Saturday and get a big win up at Emory Henry. Thank you.